recovery process, or at least the beginning phases of it. But right now, we are waiting to hear precisely where the capsule is going to land before the rest of the teams head on over to that location. Now, we are about under 10 minutes away from the capsule hitting the top of our atmosphere, and we are eagerly anticipating this largest sample of ancient solar system material that we have received since the last Apollo mission in 1972. So that is 51 years since we've had such a pristine and large sample of ancient solar system material. It's a really
How does
big
it sound?
day for science,
I'm back.
and we're just in the beginning phases of today, but we are certainly excited to hear about what will happen and see.
I'm very sorry for that. My foot kicked the computer cord and it unplugged from the wall. So
of this amazing mission.
There you go.
I'm gonna send it back to you, Lauren.
But we're back. We still have 18 minutes to go.
See, the
so
operational
we're
milestones
good.
we're expecting
You know,
throughout the morning. SRC
hello,
separation
solar
already
flare.
happened, and the capsule is now heading for its rendezvous with Earth's atmosphere. Jim, it always appears like these operations are simply inevitable.
You can see
know,
8:43 a.m.
grabbed the sample,
8:42 a.m. So in 5 minutes, it's going to enter the atmosphere.
No, not at all. And so we have a lot of critical events that take masterful engineering. We have to hit the top of the atmosphere, transition through a
8:43 a.m. we got maximum heating. 8:43 we also have maximum deceleration. We have the Job parachute a minute later.
Changes in environments, forces, things that could disrupt our
And then 8:46 is enter special. Enter. Yeah, never mind. It's gone now.
We can then bag it and encapsulate it so we can eventually get the sample into our clean room here. So we're ready to transfer tomorrow to Houston to the Johnson Space Center. So this is a big process, well rehearsed.
So he's got a model of Bennu on his desk.
Absolutely, and
that's a pretty
contains
sweet looking
work
model.
from thousands of individuals who are making this happen. All right, so we know that you're submitting questions from all over. Let's take a few more social questions. All right, what do we have? At Dev Saran at 5342461. What are the preliminary steps to take to test a sample? The preliminary steps.
So first thing we do is, of course, bag it here and get it into the clean room and get that sample, that sample canister inside the sample return capsule, get it under nitrogen purge, meaning we flow nitrogen gas so no Earth atmosphere and microbes get involved. That'll happen today, period of few hours, and then tomorrow we transfer to the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, where all the fun happens at the Astromaterials Curational Facility.
Will they show the spacecraft landing? Hopefully, yeah.
And samples of interplanetary dust and lots of things.
Okay, I'm gonna ask them a question. You guys, what question should we ask?
Perfectly designed for this mission. We'll unpack those precious samples in the small sample canister, the small device that was used on the end of the TAGSAM, and they will go through a process to get it checked out, to do early reconnaissance, and to protect it.
If you have a question, ask me, and I'll.
They built that whole clean room. No other asteroid samples before.
Post it. I'll ask
This
NASA.
is the first one.
First ever.
First ever. As the SRC approaches the edge of Earth's atmosphere, we are just moments away from the world's largest ever asteroid sample return. Jim, what are you feeling right now?
I am literally tingling all over with exhilaration. This is a small step for a capsule and a giant leap for science.
It really is, and if that's one thing we can impart, that is it. This is a huge, huge milestone, a great achievement. So this is it. We are just 15 minutes away from the OSIRIS-REx sample return. A journey
I actually think I know the answer to that one. I think it's like 2 ounces or something.
Culminates in this moment. Let's turn it over to our mission commentator, James Traley, to take us through the final moments. James, we're all yours.
Yeah, Lauren, buckle up and get ready for the ride of entry, descent, and landing. This is 13 minutes of crazy descent, punishing crazy deceleration of our spacecraft, starting at 27,000 miles per hour when it enters into Earth's atmosphere,
13
and eventually
minutes.
slowing to a leisurely 11
I
miles
want
per
to know
hour
what
as it
the heat
descends
shield is
and
made
lands
out of.
on the Utah Test and Training Range.
Recovery
Let's ask them what the heat shield is
have
made of.
arrived at the holding location.
So good news, our helicopters are ready to go and begin those recovery operations just as soon as we have confirmation of touchdown here. And as the sun begins to rise in the west coast, the SRC is going to be streaking across the atmosphere above San Francisco, California, about 82 miles in altitude. It's going to be coming in hot, over 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, almost a couple seconds after it hits that atmosphere. That's about half as warm as the surface of the sun, to give you some context. But Don't worry, our sample will be safe and sound.
Yeah, well, it's the biggest
We have
sample
a
from an
heat shield,
asteroid,
which is made of a
because we've never
filament,
sent a crew to an
impregnated carbon
asteroid.
ablator. It's a very fancy term to describe
I think we have
what's
like
going on with this
800
heat,
pounds of moon
shield. It
rocks.
basically ablates away or burns away any kind of heat flux that develops on that outer shell, making sure that our sample is safe and cool within.
Not the biggest
similar
sample in
technology
general,
that we
but
use with
biggest
astronauts coming back from the
asteroid
moon
sample.
or any kind of other landers that we have going into planets and moons. So we're just a couple moments away from this key moment. It's going to be very exciting next couple 13 minutes here. And you'll hear a
800
couple
pounds
call-outs come
across
in from
6
just next door
missions,
in our
yeah.
mission operations team as they begin to get us ready for this
Yeah,
key
2
moment.
minutes from
It's a
entry
journey of
interface.
3.86 billion miles getting reduced to the scale of mere miles. 82 miles above the surface of the Earth in San Francisco. A couple key events are going to happen as soon as we get into the Earth's atmosphere. Very quickly we're going to deploy our drogue parachute. This is for stability. Stabilizes our descent and make sure that we are continuing to target that landing ellipse that is here in the Utah Test and Training Range. It is a 36.5 by 8 mile landing
you can
ellipse
see they've got footage of
marked
it
out for that recovery
on the screen
operation.
there.
You see on your screen now the
You see
mission
where my
ops team
cursor is?
eager at the edge of their seats
They've
for
got
that
footage.
first call out of
They're
Earth
tracking it.
atmospheric entry. Very exciting moment coming up in just a few seconds here. We're about 20 seconds away. You see the
they
team
are
at Lockheed
tracking
now,
it. They're seeing it
all
coming
standing,
in.
ready on the edge of their seats. This team, I'll remind you, just a few hours
seconds
ago,
till entry
gave that
interface.
command to release the SRC on this long journey. It's been on its own for 4 hours. There's nothing we can do at this point. It's coming in, rain or shine.
EO milestone. The SRC has entered the Earth's atmosphere. UTTR tracking assets have acquired.
And here we go. Start your
Entering the
stopwatch
atmosphere.
right
It's
now.
coming.
We are 13 minutes of entry, descent, and landing. We have that expected milestone of entering into the Earth's atmosphere.
It is coming.
We can see the team at Lockheed, and we actually have a visual
Why are they
now.
not showing it? There it
This
is.
is from our infrared tracking camera
This is
on
from
the
the
WB-57, our
WB-57
high-altitude plane. At about 47,000 feet MSL means sea level,
coming in
getting
very
a great
fast.
view of that SRC heating
This
up
is in
as
one
it
of the
enters
top-
into Earth's atmosphere.
top
the
4
punishing
fastest
deceleration
things to ever
that
fly in the
spacecraft,
Earth's
that
atmosphere.
SRC is experienced right now, as it comes in at about 27,650 miles an hour. You can see it glowing brightly in the sky. And in just a few moments, we're going to reach peak heating and peak deceleration. That's at 32 G-forces,
27,000
punishing
miles per
G-force
hour.
on our SRC. A phenomenal view of that streaking SRC coming in across the sky.
Should be peak heating in a few seconds now.
At this point, we have entered in over San Francisco, California, and are very quickly going to be approaching the Utah Test and Training Range just a little bit further to the east. Entry was
Over
at
San
EO
Francisco.
milestone. SRC is experiencing maximum heating and maximum
I bet you
deceleration.
could see this if you're in
So you just heard right there, we're
California. Max
experiencing
heating.
that 5,000 degree Fahrenheit maximum heating, burning scalding hot on that heat shield that is protecting our sample within, and maximum deceleration,
heating,
that is
max
at 32
deceleration.
G-force, punishing deceleration from Earth's atmosphere, the drag forces that are acting on that
10
SRC.
minutes till touchdown.
Once again, as I mentioned, that sample is safe and sound within that SRC, that sample return capsule, as it comes in, burning through Earth's atmosphere.
Max deceleration.
You can see our high-altitude plane searching for that SRC. You can see it faintly on your screen there. Our next
You might
milestone
be
will
able to see it
expecting
if
that
you got outside
drogue
quickly
parachute
before it
deployment.
goes
That'll
away.
be at about
Maybe, yeah.
102,300 feet altitude.
Although
As I
it's
mentioned
probably
before, that
flown
will
over
stabilize
California
our
by now.
descent and slow us from hypersonic to subsonic speeds as we continue to target the Utah Test.
Because
and
it's
Training
going
Range.
to Utah, so.
Expected EO milestone. SRC commands drogue parachute deploy.
So we heard that command to deploy the drogue parachute.
Drogue
Waiting
parachute.
to see that visual confirmation, but that is at 102,300 feet.
It's cloudy.
And a
That's
side
too
note,
bad.
at this time, 8:44 a.m. Mountain Time, the OSIRIS-REx spacecraft is at its closest
100,000
approach to Earth.
feet. Oh,
That will be on
That's-
to its
that's
extended
up
mission,
there.
visiting the asteroid Apophis in the year 2029, continuing this incredible mission at another world.
it's at
In
its
just a
closest
few
approach
moments,
to
we
Earth
should
right now. It
enter
is
into special use
within
airspace at approximately
700 kilometers,
8:46
I
a.m.
believe,
That's going to be
the
at 10 miles
actual
off the deck here
spacecraft.
at
But
Utah
this
Test and
sample
Training Range.
capsule is what we're focused on today.
We can still see that SRC
I'm going to turn
on
NASA
your
down
screen
a
very faintly in the
tiny
distance. Still quite warm, that fireball that literally was a ball of plasma just a few moments ago when it first entered into the Earth's atmosphere. That SRC is nearly 3 feet wide, 1.6 feet tall. It's a small object, so quite a
I'm
challenge
sorry,
to
I
track
muted
this
it.
as
It's
comes
coming back
soaring
in a
into Earth's
second.
atmosphere.
3
In
feet
just a
wide.
few moments, we should be entering
That
into
would be
special
awesome to have a
airspace.
replica of that thing. That would be so cool.
This area was specifically chosen
there it
for
is.
this
There's a
mission. It's
capsule.
a wide open, vast desert space, relatively flat, perfect to land the sample today.
Under the drogue parachute. I don't see
We
a
did, as I mentioned,
parachute.
have a couple days of rain here leading up to this event, so the ground is a little bit soft.
Parachute? I don't see one. It looks very low.
You can see
It's
our
lower
SRC
than it should be. Maybe that's just me. I think something may be wrong.
streaking in.
I'm
Is
not
this from
sure
our
though.
high altitude cam?
Yeah, I don't see a chute. I don't think NASA's confirming parachute. There's no parachute. It doesn't have a parachute, guys.
Our next milestone, we should be expecting
Unless
main
the
parachute
cord is
deployment
very
at around
long,
8:49
but
a.m. Mountain Time. That will be
I
at
don't-
around
I don't see a
5,000 feet
parachute.
elevation. We continue to track with our high altitude camera here.
Oh. Should be expecting main chute deploy at 8:49, so 2 minutes from now.
As I mentioned, that sample is thermally isolated within.
Maybe I'm just being
That SRC,
paranoid. I
very
think it's
complex
higher than it
labyrinth
actually
network
looks.
of
It looks
piping
like
and
it's
tubing leading into that sample
gonna
canister
smash
within.
into the ground at any given
That
moment,
just a
but
few years ago was on the other side of the solar
it's
system
probably
from
at
us
about
sampling an
30,000
asteroid
feet right now.
The team has incredible precision on this mission as well. Just a few days ago, on the 17th of September, they did their
But yeah,
final
I
trajectory
don't see a
correction
parachute.
maneuver, TCM-12.
And there's the ground.
This corrected our
This is
velocity by 3 millimeters per
this
second.
might be bad.
And we
Oh,
see
main parachute. Main parachute out. Oh, thank goodness.
Parachute deployment.
Wow, and after an exhilarating streak across Earth's atmosphere, we have parachute deployment.
Main
You can see
parachute. Okay.
Just a sigh of relief from the team. I can hear some applause here. There is that orange.
Oh,
creamsicle
that was
colored
nerve-wracking.
parachute. Just a delight, a sweet delight to see in our sky here over the Utah Test and Training Range. A phenomenal view. Just wonderful to see that deployment. That is at around 5,000 feet elevation above the Utah
There it
Test and
is,
Training Range. And now
guys.
this is like a marathon runner savoring that last lap here as we approach the finish, that landing in the Utah Test and Training Range. Wonderful to see that.
So this
Continue
thing
to track
launched in
this with our high
2016, so it
altitude
hasn't
camera
been
still at WB-57.
on Earth
And we should
for
have a
7
great
years,
view from here
and
on the
now
ground. We've got a variety
it'll
of
be
different
touching
tracking
down
assets.
again,
We saw Sophia
ending
out at
the
edge of that
mission.
ellipse watching from Wig Mountain. The team there could potentially have a wonderful view momentarily as well. We'll continue to descend. Our next altitude descent will be at about 4,000 feet. Just a few minutes away from getting that sample
Everything
from
still
the other
appears
side
to
of the solar
be
system, from the surface
good.
of asteroid Bennu at sample site Nightingale to the rugged terrain of the Utah Test and Training
6
Range.
minutes from touchdown.
Looks like winds are relatively low.
Yesterday I
Not a lot of
actually
rocking back and
recreated
forth.
this
The
mission
parachutes
in
seem to be
Spaceflight
perfectly
Simulator.
smooth coming down. That
It
parachute
launched in 2016, September 8th,
continuing to descend.
2016.
A slight
actually.
little bit of tilt back and forth of our SRC as it comes to
I have a little
its
edit I
resting
can
velocity
post
of
on
11 miles per
YouTube.
hour as it makes that final descent.
But yeah,
That parachute deployment was given internally by the spacecraft. All of what you're seeing
It
now
looks
is
good,
autonomous on
guys.
board that SRC.
so I recreated it in SFS.
And once
Tried
that
a few times, it
successfully
didn't
lands,
work
the
out
teams
so
will
well.
begin
It came in
the
very
next
fast,
crucial
and then
phase of this mission,
didn't have time to
sample
deploy the
recovery
parachute.
operations.
Smash into the ground.
They've been rehearsing for this moment for months, literally years, really, leading up to this key moment, and are ready to begin those operations to get that SRC into our portable clean room here and extract that sample canister within.
I'm gonna turn NASA up.
According to my watch, we're about 5 minutes away from landing with our SRC.
I'd like to see views of that clean room. That would be awesome.
And as we heard,
Tried in realistic
helicopters
mode.
1 and 2 are already staged and ready to begin those
Unfortunately,
recovery
I do not
operations just as
save
soon as we
my
have
blueprint,
confirmation of
but
touchdown.
I could try it.
This is a variable clock, so this could be a little bit faster, a little bit slower as we get closer in. This wind speed here is a variable that is quite hard to predict, especially once you're high up in the atmosphere.
I can
We
read
did
on
release
it.
a weather balloon earlier on this afternoon, or earlier on this morning rather, to get a profile of our atmospheric conditions. The team puts those into
Still 5
various
minutes
models
out.
as they prepare for this key moment. But once again, they are a little bit hard to predict, a little bit of variability, so we may kind of bounce around a little bit on that predicted OSIRIS-REx sample return capsule touchdown time. The ground really closing in now on that SRC.
EDL milestone. Helo 1 has visual.
So yeah, it's still
on the
coming down
SRC
good.
below the chute.
That is phenomenal. Let's see that view here from that first helicopter. They've got visual on the sample return capsule under parachute, that orange creamsicle color parachute, really bright in the morning light over the Utah Test and Training Range. A great view of the SRC we can have now from our helicopter.
Okay, the helicopter confirms they have the capsule on visual.
And once again, just setting the context for this, when we first hit the top of the atmosphere, we were at 27,650 miles per hour. We are now
make sure to like the stream,
decelerating
guys,
under our orange parachute to 11 miles per hour. Incredible amount of deceleration there, as Earth's atmosphere really helped us out quite a bit, getting that initial deceleration.